What if I told you that behind the smiling family portraits and carefully crafted television moments, there was a storm brewing that no one could stop? What if the truth about Cody Brown, his choices, his priorities, and his shocking neglect were finally revealed in raw detail, a truth so unsettling that it rewrites everything you thought you knew about the sister wives world? Tonight, we dive into the story that Christine herself put into words, and once you hear it, you will never look at this family the same way again. From the very beginning, the story of Cody Brown and his complicated family life seemed like something extraordinary, something that the world would tune into with fascination, because it promised a rare glimpse into a lifestyle that most people had only heard whispers about. But beneath the surface, behind the smiles and staged family gatherings, there was a growing rift, one that became impossible to ignore. And it all comes down to how Cody treated those closest to him, especially Christine and her daughter, Truly. And when Christine decided to finally tell her story in her book, she pulled back the curtain in a way that left readers and viewers alike stunned, because the moments that had seemed confusing on television suddenly became crystal clear in her words as she described what she lived through. And the shocking details she uncovered about Cody and Robyn left no room for denial. And from the start, she paints the picture of a man who was not present when she needed him most during the birth of their 6th child. Truly, when a mother goes into labor, there is an unspoken expectation that her partner will be by her side, ready to support and protect her in one of the most vulnerable moments of her life. But Christine revealed that Cody chose that exact time to leave her alone in the hospital while he went to see Robyn, his girlfriend at the time. And what made this revelation even more devastating is that Christine only found out about it later, not because Cody confessed, but because the cameras captured him kissing Robyn while Christine was in labor, and the episode aired for the world to see. Imagine the heartbreak of watching footage of your husband embracing another woman while you were in a hospital room, scared and vulnerable, preparing to bring his child into the world. Christine described feeling gutted by the betrayal. And what made it worse was that Cody never even told her about it himself. The betrayal was not just in the act, but in the secrecy and the public exposure that forced her to relive the pain in front of an audience. And as Christine continued to peel back the layers of her experience, she described how Cody abandoned her, not just at the hospital, but also in the days and weeks that followed, when she struggled with postpartum depression. She asked him to stay with her an extra night to help with the baby, but he refused, saying he did not have the time. Instead, he poured his energy into planning a wedding with Robyn, spending long hours at her house while Christine was left to fend for herself with a newborn and 5 other children to care for. Christine admitted that she felt invisible, unimportant, like her needs, and the needs of her children were secondary to the demands of Robyn and her kids, and this was a theme that would repeat over and over throughout the years. Robyn received Cody's attention. Robyn's children received his devotion, while Christine and her kids were left waiting for scraps of his time and affection. And the breaking point for Christine came not just from these moments of neglect, but from a terrifying experience when Truly became dangerously ill. It started as what seemed like a simple flu, but quickly spiraled into a life-threatening crisis. Her kidneys began to fail, and Christine was out of town, contractually obligated to film for the show, when she got a panicked call from her older daughter Aspen saying that Truly was sick and she did not know what to do. Christine called Cody, begging him to step in, but Cody dismissed her concerns, saying the other kids could handle it. He was too busy with Robyn. Christine later discovered that while her daughter's life hung in the balance, Cody was doing laundry at Robyn's house instead of being by Truly's side. By the time Christine returned home, she rushed Truly to urgent care and then to the hospital, where doctors informed her that her daughter was in kidney failure. It was a nightmare scenario, one that no parent should ever face. And what haunted Christine most was not just the illness, but the realization that Cody had chosen not to be there when their daughter desperately needed him. The doctors told Christine that Truly needed immediate intervention, and Christine remembered feeling terrified, overwhelmed, and abandoned. She owed more than $200,000 in medical bills because they had no insurance at the time, and Cody did nothing to help with that crushing financial burden. She described in painful detail how the hospital staff would come to her door, demanding more money as she sat by her daughter's bedside, praying she would survive. She offered whatever she could, but what she wanted most was support from her husband, and instead she got nothing but silence and absence. She even admitted to Robyn later that if Truly had died, she would have left Cody then and there because she could not accept a marriage where her child's life was less important than chores at another wife's house. Robyn was horrified at the thought. But when she told Cody, he became angry, not remorseful. Angry that Christine dared to share her feelings, and this moment marked the last time Christine ever trusted Robyn with her vulnerabilities, because she realized that Robyn would always run back to Cody with whatever she said, twisting it in a way that turned Cody against her, and the tension only deepened from there. As Christine saw more and more of Cody's favoritism play out in front of the cameras, she recalled how her children noticed it too, how they watched episodes where Cody showered Robyn's children with love and attention while dismissing them, as though they were invisible, and the pain of that was unbearable. Christine wrote that by the time they lived in Las Vegas, her kids barely even felt like they had a father, because he was never there for them emotionally or physically, and even when he was present, his heart seemed elsewhere. The cracks in their marriage grew wider, and Christine could no longer pretend that things would get better. She even admitted that during their recommitment ceremony on the show, when they all stood together and promised to stay united, she did not believe a single word she was saying. It was all for show. Another performance for the cameras, while her marriage was already crumbling behind the scenes. As this trial continues to unfold, one thing is absolutely certain. The world is not just watching, it is dissecting. Every move, every statement, and every silence, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are no longer simply two stars fighting in court. They have become symbols of a much bigger question about truth, power, and survival in Hollywood. The accusations, the denials, the looming threat of leaked texts, and the silence from some of the industry's biggest names all combine to create a picture of a scandal that refuses to be contained for Blake. The stakes could not be higher. Her entire career has been built on the perfection of her image, but images can crack under pressure, and the courtroom is the one stage where performance cannot substitute for proof. For Justin, this is not only about defending himself, but about reclaiming his future and proving that consistency and truth can stand stronger than spectacle. And for Taylor Swift and others whose names hover on the edge of exposure, the possibility of private conversations entering the public sphere represents a risk that could shake the very core of Hollywood's carefully constructed walls of silence. What we are left with is a story that has no easy resolution, a trial that feels less like a legal proceeding and more like a countdown to a cultural reckoning. The outcome may decide more than just who wins in court. It may reshape alliances, alter careers, and redefine how the public views some of the most powerful figures in entertainment. And as each day brings new revelations, one thing becomes clear: the end of this case is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning of an aftershock that will be felt for years to come.